Thanks for tuning in. Ah, did you sometimes panic, freak out when you shouldn't overreact? Maybe you're feeling sad and just wish you wouldn't anymore. Today, we're going to learn to heal and learn to retrain our brains. Welcome to another episode of the Shayna Show Live. I am Shayna Melissa Stockman, the world wellness expert. And after your doctors treat your symptoms, I will help you solve your problem so that you can feel better and be happier. And that's because I like to attack the root cause with a more natural, holistic approach and new technologies like gene activation. But that's enough about me. Now we're going to get started. Today we're going to talk about trauma, anxiety, and depression. People need to realize that a lot of their childhood traumas created their current anxiety and depression that may linger on for many, many years. And there is ways that we can help you retrain the brain. It's not your fault, but there's ways to break the habit and the mindset and master your mindset. So we want to help you to learn to heal. And we have a very special guest. She is a licensed master social worker, a former therapist, mentor, international speaker, and a best-selling author, Miss Amy Egan. She's had some of these problems herself until she helped heal herself. And now she wants to empower other people to also heal. She works a lot with various types of people, such as homeless youth, those that are survivors of human trafficking, and domestic violence. Her kindness and compassion extends well to all living things, and she even volunteers for the feline, feline Adoption Center. Miss Amy Egan, I want to thank you very much for coming to the Shayna Show. And how are you doing today?
Very good. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Can you share? I want to thank you ahead of time for coming. And can you share with us a little bit of your background or past that led you to choose this field and why you went into this field?
Of course. So it starts with, like most things in life, my family. So I had a very traumatic upbringing. I was very fortunate that it was only verbal abuse too and psychological abuse. Um, but, these things have very long lasting effects and they taint your view of the world.
Mm.
So to give more information, my grandma, when she was raising my mom, at some point she developed Munchausen's for herself and Munchausen's by proxy, depression, borderline personality disorder, and who knows what else. There's a kind of cocktail of mental disorders that she has.
Can you describe Munchausen's for a lot of the viewers that may not know what that is?
Absolutely. So it is when, because she has it with both. So it's when you think that you have an illness because they really believe that they do. And you think that someone else that you're taking care of has the illness as well. And then you get a secondary gain from this illness. So in
Mm.
her case, it was attention, and she kind of plagued on my mom a lot. So my mom is legally blind without glasses, and she did not get glasses until the age of 15. She was also put into a special education school for developmental disabilities, and she didn't have one. She just couldn't read. She couldn't
Mm.
really see in front of her, and was taken to several different schools in and out of them, and was never given glasses until she was basically forced to get glasses.
No, yeah, I mean, I feel your pain. I really do because as a nurse practitioner for decades, I've had patients whose mother what did have Munchausen's, and and for the viewers that don't realize this, a parent might think their child and lead everyone to believe their child has a disability or a issue, and that brings attention to the person that has the Munchausen's, like the parent. So I would see, and I've heard of cases where parents said, hey, my child's not eating, they need a stomach tube, like invasive procedures, because the parent created that reality for that child, and
Mhm.
that child wasn't eating. And so thank you for enlightening on us. So I guess your trauma started truly from before you were born, then, you would say.
Yes, exactly. So because of my grandma kind of keeping my mom small and repressing her, she lashed out into control of her emotions by reacting in rage and fits and anger
Mm.
to anyone or anything that came near her. Red lights, if I spoke too loudly, just kind of everything. Anything she had to do really was just intense anger. So over time, I thought that she'd be happier if I was no longer here. So I was strongly suicidal. And I developed a plan. And thank goodness my grandma actually read one of my notes that I wrote. So she, in a way, it's kind of like this catch-22 because she did save my life, but at the same time, she made
Create.
things worse and created things. She also kind of raised me when my mom wasn't around because she really didn't want my mom to raise me either. So it
So
was
she loved you
very
despite
interesting
what
dynamic.
you
She
had done.
does. Yeah, the love was there. The treatment was not good.
That's
So it's interesting.
That's another commonality we have. My grandma
Mhm.
raised me too. God rest her soul. And also, thank you for sharing about suicide because this is a very, very, very important topic. And a lot of people don't share their story. But I think if they were and they're not any longer, like there's a lot of people that can be inspired by your story and be like, wait, she was like me. What did
Yeah.
she do? And that can help me. And I wanted to share the suicide prevention hotline phone number as well. This is for the USA. 800-273-TALK. So that's the suicide prevention hotline in US, 800-273-TALK or 800-273-8255. So I would recommend if you are having those thoughts to definitely reach out to someone, hopefully a licensed professional who has been through this before, but at least, get the ball rolling with that phone number, a licensed professional, or it could be their rabbi or their pastor just to get in
Mhm.
the system so they can start getting help. There's no shame
Yeah.
anymore in needing help because
Mhm.
mental illness is just like, listen, if you have high blood pressure, you go to the doctor, right? And you get it fixed,
Mhm.
or the nurse practitioner or the world wellness expert, and you get it fixed. Mental illness is the same. You go to the profession that can help you do
Yeah.
that. If I have a plumbing issue, I go to the plumber. He's the expert. So we need to take the stigma away from it. And I think it's gotten a
Mhm.
lot more open, the field, and people are a lot more open in saying they're getting therapy and in therapy.
Absolutely, and thank goodness because you're not alone, and there's so many reasons to live, and
Yes.
it's a situation may not get better immediately, but there is hope, and there are opportunities to go to different avenues to find that relief.
And I have to say, it's not your fault.
No,
People need to know that a lot of victims blame themselves. Like even
yeah,
rape victims, maybe I shouldn't have been in the park at
mhm,
late at night. And there's
yeah,
a lot of self blame there. And also, your past does not dictate your future. I had a
no,
really bad traumatic past as a child, but that does not dictate your future. Each day is a new day.
mhm,
And actually, a chapter in my first multi-author book said we titled it "Don't Look Back because You Aren't Going That Way." It's like you could look back at the past to learn from it,
yeah,
but just don't stick there and stay there. That's why I think the windshield is bigger than the rear view mirror.
mhm,
That book was Overcoming Life Obstacles. I'm going to give John McGill in Australia a shout out because he wrote that chapter all about don't look back because you're not going that way. And so we need to not look back. And can you share with us some pro tips that somebody that's struggling with anxiety or depression from a prior trauma,
mhm.
what advice would you give them?
Well, meditation is extremely valuable tool because it helps you recenter too. I want to call it a gift, where I'm able to see things that other people can't see. So when I was 2, I think that it really helped save my life because I developed this ability to see fractals of light move constantly. It's kind of like an overlay on my actual world. So I see, regular colors that everyone else sees, and then I see moving colors of pixels of light. When I'm darker, they get more intense. So I really don't know what actual darkness looks like, and it gives me the ability to kind of use my imagination more and foster and kind of create a different reality on top of mine. So when I'm meditating, I'm able to go into that state very easily because I'm able to focus on the different colors that are constantly moving around me and find that inner center.
Nice. So they should, I guess, meditate and find an image for them that's pleasing and pleasant, like
Yes.
something that makes you happy and smile and that you want
Yeah.
more of.
and
Okay.
peaceful. And, there are so many things to focus on that bring you joy.
Awesome. And that's why I call one of the exercises I do the attitude of gratitude. And because I believe mindset is it's the foundation for everything we do. And if you don't believe you can do it, then you're not going to do it. That's self fulfilling prophecy. Like if you think you're going to fail a test, you don't study and then you fail. Your thoughts became your actions. So I think we need to flip it and do it the positive. Like, hey, I could do this. I'm going to do this. I call it attitude of gratitude, where every morning wake up and just think of three things that you're grateful for. I'm just happy that I woke up after this pandemic. I'm happy that I'm breathing. I'm moving all my organs. I have a roof, food, clothes. So I think we need to more refocus on, instead of what we don't have, focus on
Mhm.
all that we do have. And, maybe make a running list of your attitude of gratitude. And every morning, pick three things. It could be the same things. It could be different things, because we're blessed. My attitude of gratitude today is for you being here on the Shayna Show.
Here.
Awesome. And do you have another tip or two?
Yes, I do. Affirmations are really great
Mm.
to help motivate me in the direction that I want to go. Because I noticed that, my mindset was a little bit more negative, especially when I kind of had like this little kind of overlaying of depression throughout my life. Um,
Oh.
so, so in order to kind of help break me out of that cycle, I noticed all the different affirmations that I would hear. I love quotes so much, and I'd write them down. And in 40 days, I'd notice how my brain waves changed, because our brains kind of focus on the negative in order to keep our bodies safe.
Mm.
So it takes a lot of effort to kind of go in the reverse position, but you'll notice how much happier you are. So think of a quote and kind of focus on it and see how much your life changes the more that your thought patterns
That's
kind
a
of go
good
into alignment with your new way of thinking.
Oh, actually, this might coincide very well with something because I actually have a daily dose of positivity. I was going to save this for the end. It's a daily dose of positivity that they can get for free. There's no strings. Every day they get an email for 31 days with something positive, and it has little calls to action. It might say, hey, today treat yourself as good as your bestie. And so it's also actionable steps, and it's a free daily dose of positivity, inspiration, motivation, and they can use them as screensavers on their phone as well. They're the perfect size, or print them out, post them around. At the end of the month, they can just redo it again because it's positive affirmations. And I think my next pro tip is, and how you guys can get that is go to
Mhm.
worldwellnessexpert.com and get your daily dose of positivity. I think for me, in addition to the positive affirmations, is the bad butt list, I call it, or the confidence booster list. And that's where, you guys got to give yourself props. We don't sometimes give ourselves enough credit for what we do. You guys that are watching this right now, you all survived a lethal pandemic. Like, come on, give yourself some credit here. Sometimes I like to say, raise your hand up high, bend at the elbow, pat on the back, because a lot of times other people aren't going to do it. But I like to create a confidence booster list where you just write down all your accolades and your accomplishments, things that you're proud of. It could be, I survived lethal pandemic, I graduated high school, college, I had 3 marriages, whatever, 2 beautiful babies. It could be small things too, like, hey, I got my to-do list done, I went food shopping, or wow, I cooked dinner for the first time this week. So I encourage you guys to do your bed butt list or your confidence booster list and keep adding to it, adding. And do you have another tip for us?
I do. Because of my complex history with trauma that I was kind of familiar with, just to give people more background on how I actually overcame PTSD once I realized that I had it, because for a while I had no idea. And it takes also a little while to set in too.
Hmm.
So it was actually like recognizing, okay, what is the fear? What is the trigger? How can I move forward towards that fear, towards that trigger in a way that I feel safe? But also it's actually kind of pulling it towards me of like, hey, this is what I'm afraid of. Come here. I'm ready.
Oh, so like if you're afraid of spiders, like go get it, go to the pet store and look at the spiders.
Yeah, but like you also want to do it in a way that
Safe
you're safe and you won't have a
behind
psychotic
the fence.
break. Because I realized as I was overcoming it, I was mentally fine. And then once I healed the mental aspect and I was calm and peaceful, relaxed inside my mind, my body was tremoring a lot. My
Wow.
nerves were freaking out. I dissociate too, which was like,
I
and
think
not in a
that's
good way.
common.
It'd be like
Wow.
brain just went blank, could not breathe. was almost passing out kind of thing. And that would happen. And my brain would be like, what's the problem? I see no reaction. So I had to like rub my skin more. I had to pet my cats a lot more. I had to really be kind to my physical body in order for it to catch up to where my brain was.
So for you, it was
Mhm.
a desensitization, like exposing yourself to the triggers instead
Yes.
of just staying away from them.
Yeah. Yeah. But you have to do it in a way that you feel safe. Otherwise,
Yes.
it could make things worse and exacerbate them. So that's
Yes, yes,
contacting a mental health professional is a good idea. And
yes.
doing also knowing yourself and what you can handle and what is not
Yes,
a good
exactly. That's why for the viewers here, this is general information. What helped
idea. Mhm.
us? These things may and they may not be for you. We suggest you reach out to a healthcare professional like Miss Amy or like myself so that we can tailor our guidance to you. This is general information that has helped us
Yeah.
personally and may not be for them. They can take what they will, you
Mhm.
know.
Exactly.
And
But the thing is, PTSD gets worse over time. So the more you ignore the fear, the worse it gets. The more
Mhm.
exacerbated it gets. The more you
It's
ignore the
true.
trauma, the worse it gets.
And that's very true. And I'd say kudos to you. Like I was afraid of heights, so I went skydiving.
Mhm.
Like I just, I don't know, go figure. But when you said the
Mhm.
triggers, you said two things: overcome and triggers. Overcome was my first book, Overcoming Life Obstacles, and you guys could get that on my website, worldwellness.com. But triggers, this new
Mhm.
course that I'm launching, I go into the triggers as well because for me, it's more their physical triggers, like with
Mhm.
their medical issues and their physical issues. It's more stress, not sleeping could aggravate their autoimmune problems. Certain foods, certain drinks, alcohol
Yeah.
might exacerbate their autoimmune. So I do go into depth on they need to know their triggers and I help them figure out what their unique triggers are because they
Yeah.
might be different for you than me. Like
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
red lights triggers your past, I don't
Mhm.
know. And so it's important for you guys to figure out what your triggers are, what triggers you, and then do one of two things either move away or desensitize or reach out to
Yeah.
your healthcare professional for that. And I would like to say also treat yourself as good as you treat your bestie because you are just as worthy and just as deserving, if not more so. And my opener for that was when I was on this online event. There was like 100,000 women, and I got called out to answer the question from the speaker. And she was like, What what would you say to yourself if you could talk to yourself right now? And I'm like, there's 200,000 eyeballs on me. And this was an aha moment for me because I said,
Mhm.
wow, why do you treat me so bad? Like you treat everyone else
Yeah.
better than me and the world. And I think, especially women, we're always often, well, not always, but often putting our own needs last. I
Mhm.
treat
Yeah.
everyone else better. Anybody else, I think most people would like to be my friend. But for me, I wasn't treating myself as good as I was treating everyone else.
Yeah.
So I think we need to treat, no, we are just as worthy, just as deserving. And we need to treat ourselves just as good, especially the moms out there. They might save the, like everyone else eat cake, and if there's any left, I'll have. And then it's like, uh-oh, you didn't
Yeah.
save mom a piece. So we want the moms to have their cake and eat it too, right?
Mhm. But the thing is, like, you are in your brain all the time, and this is your reality. If your cup is not filled, if your basic needs aren't met, you're
Yeah.
not going to be functional. Like I know for me, I had body dysmorphia for a long time, so eating would be a last resort. It'd be like not a priority. Oh, I can be fine. I can go 10 hours without eating, and then be like, okay, well, I'm fainting now. Then I'm home taking a shower because I'm so tired and not feeling good. So it'd be a back burner thing.
Mm.
And the
That's
more that I healed and recognized that, like, no, that's not
yeah,
true. Those things that I was told or the way that I'm perceiving myself, it's not
yeah.
true. I incorporated more of like, I have to eat. So I
Mhm.
changed it, and then my feeding disorder got so much better too.
Yes, we view ourselves differently than others do, and I'm
Yeah.
so hard on myself. People are like, "Oh my God, you're doing great." I'm like, "Really? I should be doing this and that." And they're like, "Wait, you have 5 college degrees?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, a
Mhm.
lot of people don't have one. So I think we need to give ourselves a lot of credit where credit is due.
Yes.
We don't, and we need to treat ourselves better and do self care, and maybe write that self care in the schedule because we save it for last, and then there's
Mhm.
usually no time or you're too tired at the end of the day. So you know what? Maybe if you have to put that walk in your schedule, that lunch with a friend, that bubble bath and candles and lock the door,
Mhm.
maybe we just need to do it. Um, any other pro tips? And what else would we like to talk about? Oh, what about your book? Could you tell us
Yes.
a little bit about reawakening and how they can get it?
Yeah, so my book is kind of like a bare bones outline of kind of like how to heal yourself starting from childhood, conquering your triggers. What are they? I came up with like a rating system, like scale of 1 to 10, to notice like how my body was reacting. So you get to rate your own systems. It has a lot of like a little bit about me, how it healed, how you can do it. So it's like a kind of how-to workbook. And it's really like a bare bones outline of my course that I'm offering, which I'm really
That's
excited. That has launched officially. It's been, I think, a month now, roughly.
that's
We're starting.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's really exciting. That's another parallel we have because
Mhm.
my first book is similar about my struggle, but not a blues song. It's more how I overcame to inspire. I think both of our books are inspirational, motivational, and transformational because we're going to show you, look, we were where you are. And
Mhm.
you could take the road less traveled and take a really long time to get there, or you can learn from our years and decades of experience. And we can tell you what helped us, what didn't help us, and we can expedite your journey to your end destination, so to speak, right? So
Yes.
I think we should do something with both books, Overcoming Life Obstacles and Reawakening. So I know with
Mhm.
my book, Overcoming Life Obstacles, they can get it on worldwellnessexpert.com or Amazon KDP. Where do they get Reawakening? Would that be your website?
It would be. So it's also available on Amazon, which is available directly through my website. The download is $10, so it's a nice, easy workbook. I also have gratitude journal, and which is very thick. It goes through a year, but
Ah,
we have, like all kinds of different things for daily affirmations. So you have it all nice
that's
and
awesome.
in front of you.
And I
And
think, oh, congratulations on your bestseller.
thank you.
You're welcome. And I think it's important. People might not realize when you get the digital version on Amazon or KDP,
Mhm.
you can read it from anywhere, laptop, iPad, Kindle, Nook, or even your cell phone. You don't need a special device. And
Yes.
you can just open it up whenever you want. So that's cool. And mine's on electronic version and paperback as well. And
Yeah, I have it on paperback too.
nice.
It's,
Oh,
pretty and colorful. If you
and
want to get
you
it
mentioned
back.
when you mentioned the triggers, that's something else I thought about. So I was starting to say that when people they need to realize, like with you, they're more the triggers that trigger their anxiety and depression from their past, and with me, more the physical, what foods it is. So I have a course coming up too. My new course. It's going to go into the triggers that can trigger your autoimmune disorders and your long hauler syndrome. So the course actually is get healthy and happy with me. It has short little modules that they do on demand whenever they want. Stop, rewind, play, and a nice wellness workbook with all the notes. They don't have to take notes. Pretty little pictures, like 200 slides. Calls to action. But I start off with the mindset because I think mindset's the foundation. Like
Yeah.
with my grandma, I'm looking at a picture of her right now. At 79, the doctors gave up hope for her walking again. And I was like, no, she's like, you ever think I'll walk again? And I'm like, yeah. And I was like a brand new nurse. There wasn't like physical therapy back in the early 90s. So I made up
Mhm.
exercises. Eventually she walked without a cane walker or anything. And the point is we have to retrain our brains, and mindset is so important. And the course I have them, it's geared towards women, predominantly 25 to 55, who are suffering now with either chronic pain, long haulers from the protection or the infection, autoimmune problems. And it starts them out with a lot of modules on mindset and calls to action. It's not just a lecture. It's like, hey, stop, now do this. Like treat yourself as good as Susie. And then it goes into their triggers and how to discover their own triggers and their food triggers, their environmental triggers, and then how to stay away from them or desensitize, and also what they can do instead. And then it goes into all autoimmune problems and signs, symptoms, tests, triggers, food pharmacy, how to use food for medicinal purposes. And then it goes into biohacking. What is that Shayna does? Why is it important? How do we activate our genes? So my course is launching very, very, very soon. We're in the beta phase right now. Awesome. Oh, and
Congratulations.
also, thank you. And also, it's going to come with every week. I'm going to go online to discuss the modules that you reviewed, and then every week there's going to be a live Q&A session on Zoom, so they can get their questions answered. And then they also get a private consult with me, so they want to ask something confidential about their own situation. Because I find, like with you and I, where we're different, not only we healed ourselves, but
Mhm.
different, like medical community will just hand you a script and say here, and we know there's a lot more to it. They need to
Yes, there
discover
is.
the triggers, they need to discover how to either desensitize or
Yeah.
stay away, and change their negative habits into more positive habits, right?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
too.
And and to leave the past in the past, but also learn for it, because
Yes,
otherwise you're living in the past and you don't want to live too much in the future too. So you want to be as present as possible in the
yes,
moment, because now is the only moment that actually really exists, technically. So you have to kind of stay grounded in this moment of reality.
yes. And I think it is important to glance back, so not live there,
Mhm.
but glance back to
Yeah.
learn from it. Like, okay, that triggered me. What can I do next time I see that
Yeah.
red light or whatever it is? Because we have to learn from it. And I think if we learned from World War One, maybe World War Two wouldn't have happened. I don't know.
Maybe history does repeat itself, so hopefully.
Yes, 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 yes. And I'd say for you guys watching on YouTube, please drop some interactions, a heart, a comment, so we know that who's viewing. Click that subscribe button so next time I go live, you can be notified and get that alert. And also, if you know someone that's suffering, that had a trauma, and they're still suffering with anxiety, depression, please share this with them. Just click that little share button. If you're not watching on YouTube, the channel is Shayna Melissa. You can just go there and subscribe. I would say what would be your call to action for them?
So my next one is to book a free discovery call with me. Because I am, in the book is, like I said, it's a very bare bones outline of what I'm actually doing as far as a coaching business, for mental health coaching. So my plan is to help you design your own signature course. So it would be the Shayna Melissa course. So it would be completely tailored to you. You would have my undivided attention, for an hour and a half twice a month.
Wow.
And then, you could always reach out and ask for me. Um, and then we would do one session Zoom, kind of plan things out, catch up. The first one would be focused on your childhood. And then we would go out into the community for the second hour and a half, and we would either kind of conquer a fear together, learn a new hobby, um, develop a new skill, or kind of break you out of your comfort zone of, like, I just started jujitsu, so that's making me feel better about going back to the
Nice.
dating world and kind of things. It's like, it's also helping me feel like safe around, physical touch and everything. Cause it's like a danger hug, you could
Aw.
die, but it's fine. Um, so, so
I
kind of
love
like developing these things in person, and actually like applying them, as opposed to just kind of intellectualizing them. Like, maybe this is the form that you are so afraid of going to the DMV and doing. Like, it's okay, we'll go together. Kind
Nice. I love that you started with childhood because a lot
Yes.
of how we feel about ourselves were deep seated when we were younger and it was reinforced time and time again. And that was our comfort zone and we only felt comfortable there. And then we went back to that and the vicious cycle
Mhm.
repeated. So I like that
Yeah.
you started not what's bothering you today, but where the root cause of your
Yeah.
problem, like I did with the root cause of their physical ailment, you know?
Exactly.
And I love that you give them a call to action to move it forward, and it's not just a lecture. That's
Yeah.
so important that they're taking back the power and writing the
Exactly.
next chapter of their book in a more positive light.
Because
They
the
should.
thing is,
Oh, okay. Sorry.
it's all right. It's just the thing is that, we've been so disconnected since the pandemic, and that call to
Mm,
community is really kind of saying, get off your phones, get off your desk, let's go out into the world again. What is that like? And this way you don't have to do it alone. And I want to help you kind of connect to different resources, to Shayna Melissa or whoever, this is your healing journey. What do you need to help you get to the next level?
yes. And I
Because you
think
will.
that's yeah, that's important because like I can't do it all. I will refer to you. I will refer to other specialists.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
don't specialize in everything. And that's okay. You can have multiple people in the mix in your healing journey. It's
Mhm.
like you have a contract at the house.
Yeah.
You have the plumber, the electrician, the roofer. They all do different jobs, but they play nice together, and you get the best of the best. So that's a good thing.
Exactly.
And so they would go to your website, Amy at amy-egan.com.
Yes, exactly. And we'll design your customizable signature program together.
Ooh,
So
and they can get your book there as well,
they
Reawakening.
can, yes. And then I also have affirmation cards. Here's one of them. It says, I embracing the unknown. It is an adventure, because every day really is a new adventure, and you can do
That
this.
is awesome. So I think together, like, okay, get Amy's affirmation cards on Amy at amy-egan.com. Get her book because she's going to share with you her story and how she overcame it to inspire and motivate and transform you. And then also on my website, they can get my book, Overcoming Life Obstacles, to help also in different ways and get my between your positive affirmations and my free daily dose of positivity. Every day they're going to get another daily dose of positivity with little tiny calls to action. They might just take 1 minute or two to do. And I think that they're going to be okay. And then also when they're at World Wellness Expert and getting the daily dose of positivity, you'll get infrequent newsletters, special invites, special savings, and you'll get um, 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 you'll get notified of upcoming events. Oh, and on the website, I don't usually do this, but sometimes I do free discovery calls. So if you see them up there, get them while you can. And I just give them a good nugget and I just steer them in the right direction. I'm like, you know what? What you need is more Amy than me, okay? And I will help, give them a gold nugget and steer them in the right direction. It might be me, it might not be me. And that's okay too. And do you have a specific tagline or anything you'd like to share?
No. Sorry.
Not yet. Sorry.
I do not have a tagline yet. It's really just, if I can do it, really, you can do it. Because I recognized that I had PTSD after like 7 years of really bad sexual trauma. Thank goodness I am safe and nothing really ever came to me. But I was stalked, I was followed, I was harassed, I was taken on dates that I did not want to go on and promised that they were just friends, and they were like, surprise, let me barge into your house and force myself to meet your mom. I've had all kinds of crazy experiences, almost been raped twice, assaulted, like I said, stalked.
I almost had that too, yeah.
And so it was like a compound of things kind of all happening at once. And then once I realized I had it, I was like, oh, this is a problem. Let me use my skills that I've learned that it would help with my clients on myself. And I was able to behavioral therapy myself and then actually like do it. But it took a while. And then the body kind of reaction was a surprise. Then every time I would heal another layer, like for example, my acupuncturist was grooming me and I had no idea. And he was treating my Bell's palsy that had developed from PTSD.
Wow.
And he's like, no, he's like, I've never been in a safe space this entire time. So like that was shocking. And then I had to fix it again.
But I give you kudos for recognizing.
Yeah.
And like, I think the first step with anything, if it's alcoholism, drugs, is recognizing there's a problem.
Yes.
That's exactly. A lot of people think that's norm because that's all they know.
Yeah.
So recognizing it and then getting out of your comfort zone, even though that's comfortable for you and that's all you know. I look at it like this. It's scary to move forward. But what I felt scarier was not moving forward and staying in the same exact space. So people are too afraid to move forward. They should be afraid of not moving forward and not leveling up and staying at the lower level where they are.
Yeah, exactly. Because my PTSD affected my dating life so bad. Like it was, it kind of is non-existent. To the point where like I don't want to be alone forever in my house dying with my cats. This is the thing. If I don't fix it, I'm not going to move forward, and this is the reality of my situation. So you have to grab the bull by the horns and move yourself forward.
I give you such props for recognizing and also getting out of your comfort zone. People sometimes are scared to get out of their comfort zone because like those old pair of sneakers are comfortable, right? But they might have a hole, they might leak a little bit. Yeah. You're like, oh, that new pair, I got to break them in. They're not going to be comfortable in the beginning, but then they're going to be so much better. So it's like the new car, the old sneakers. You just got to get out of your comfort zone. It's a little uncomfortable in the beginning, but then you're going to be so much more comfortable. I think sometimes they just got to take a leap of faith,
Exactly. And it sucks and it's scary to face all of your demons, but I'd rather be where I am now than ever go back even a day before.
Yes.
Every day is wonderful and I'm so excited and so happy all the time. And it's so great.
And maybe we have to do something in the future because I'm thinking this. We both healed ourselves. We both were like not hearing what they had to say. We recognized our own symptoms. We healed ourselves holistically. We have so many parallels. We had a lot of childhood trauma. We don't want to be like that. We're helping others that are going through the struggle now to also overcome, and not only overcome, but overcome at an expedited pace, because we just had to learn from ourselves, but we're
Yeah.
like, wait, we can take you by the hand and show you. I wish when I was in heart failure and I had all of my autoimmune problems, there was somebody like us that could be like, wait, I've been there, done that, I can help you. So that's what I think we want to create for the viewers, is we've been there, done that. We're going to expedite your journey with our online courses, but we're also going to take you a little bit by the hand with more one-on-ones and group things. And I
Yes.
think that that's so beautiful, because I know, um, for a lot of us, we think the doctor or the healthcare provider we're at is our last stop. If that healthcare
Mhm.
provider, there's people, a lot of people go into a healthcare provider and they're still depressed and they're still anxious.
Mhm.
That might be good that they're helping you a little bit, but maybe you need extra help, like
Yeah.
adding one of us on board. And it's almost like anything, sometimes we need multiple experts in different things, right? Like I'm not that great at technology. So I have a VA for a lot of my tech needs, right? I don't like food shopping. I have a shopper. So, I think it's important for people with mental disorder that
Mhm.
you're not abnormal. Most of us have
Yeah.
it.
It's part of
And
being a person. It's the trauma that we have. It's either breaks you
yeah,
mentally or physically. We're human.
there's no shame in it. And and I think for us, our passion, I see what lights you up. My passion is when before us, a lot of people they're, like I said, they're still depressed, they're still anxious, they're still crying, going to the doctor or the healthcare provider. If that healthcare provider is not enough, like say the surgeon operates on your
Mhm.
shoulder and it's still not going to be great, then he sends you and transitions you to the physical therapist.
Yeah.
Now you go to the physical therapist and he says, here, learn from that expert for 4 weeks. This is the same way. They can go to their
Mhm.
doctor if they need a medicine or whatever, and then they can come to you for the alternative things. And same like with me, like people might have the testing with their doctor and he might like give them a medicine for their symptom, but I'm going to help them actually get to the root cause. Like you're going to help them get to their root cause. We're going
Yeah.
to help them get to their root cause so that it stops the madness, and then it even reverses it, and then their symptoms go away. So I think that's very powerful what we're doing.
Yeah.
Wow. High five. Woo. Yeah, all right, guys. And so again, I would say go to Amy at amy-egan.com. You can pick up her book, Reawakening. You can also book a free discovery call while you're there. You can go to worldwellnessexpert.com, which is my website. Get your free daily dose of positivity, a discovery call, and soon the Get Healthy and Happy with Me course and workshop is going to be up there as well. Any last words?
No, just thank you everyone so much. Thank you, Shayna.
You're welcome.
This has
And
been, yeah, it's really wonderful and very kind of like ironic how we met. So not really ironic, but
yes.
serendipitous. That's the word. That's what I was
Yes,
trying to
it
say.
was
Um,
serendipitous.
so it just, you never really know who you're going to meet. I didn't expect to meet you at a street fair and then keep on seeing you. It just, you don't know who's around and what experiences are tomorrow. So don't let your past dictate where
Beautiful.
you're not moving forward to.
Yes, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Oh, that's so beautiful. And I know, thank you, the viewers, for watching. Click that subscribe button. We really appreciate you. We'd love to see your comments, your feedback, your questions. We'll come back to these feeds and answer questions.
Mhm.
And then we hope to see you guys in the future. All right. So thank you again, Amy, for being here. Viewers, thank you. And I'd like to say be well, biohack, and OLO. OLO is the acronym for the book. You overcome life obstacle, and then you optimistically lift others. It's a double OLO.
So beautiful.
Thank you. Be well, biohack. OLO.
Bye.
Uh,